To those who are outside this room, I'm speaking to as well as those in the room, and I want to make sure that the volume is working good. That's one of the concerns of people having difficulty hearing. So whenever you speak, if you would speak up. And yeah, Melissa, I'm going to show you what's on my screen over here and walk you through a couple of slides. All right, so I guess the one on the right there. So I'm going to take a few minutes to orient this conversation and this webinar that's happening. And what we're also intending is that this be the beginning of a further conversation. So we've been mapping the folks that are in the room, identifying who's here, creating a resource that will be useful for us afterwards. But there was a gathering that happened in April. And April 19th at Royal Roads, we started by situating ourselves about where are we in the world. And it was David who eloquently talked about this moment in time in which we are hospicing the old while we are midwifing something new. And that this mechanical system orientation is giving rise to the living system perspective. And we took some time to ground ourselves in this new paradigm. And it is intergenerational, and it is cross-cultural. And the results of that conversation, and we applied the principles of open space, which really are a wise approach to life in general, which suggests that first off, whenever it starts is the right time. So if you're sitting there wondering if we're on time, we're on time. And the second principle is that whoever shows up are the right people. So if you're wondering if you got the right people in the room, all the right people are here and all the right people are online. And that whatever's going to happen is the only thing that could happen. And the fourth principle, and maybe the most challenging, is that it's over when it's over. And being able to let it go and move on to what's next. But we have a great opportunity over the next 48 hours. And I mean 48 hours because some of us have come a long way, and we mean business, as all of us know that this is an urgent moment in time. So be open, be engaged. Let's take advantage of this unique opportunity that's being offered to us. We ended up, after 2 days at Royal Roads, with this map. And unfortunately, Colleen's not here. She would be doing more of this, but this was her work last time. And we identified that one of the key things is knowing each other's gifts, right? If strategy, my favorite way of thinking about strategy is turning what we have into what we need. Well, the challenge with turning what we have into what we need is we need to find out from each other what we have and know each other's gifts and discover that. And we took the time to identify those gifts. Things like nature-based learning are on here. Things like traditional knowledge, deep social networking, community practices, peace building through transformation, mentoring and apprenticeship, youth engagement in the UN, deinstitutionalized learning and sustainable engagement. But the one that I was in the middle and I want to emphasize is that it all starts from within. That the change that we seek starts here. So it was when I worked with Phil Lane, and the beautiful summary statement of the fourth way says, starting from within, working in a circle, in a sacred manner, we heal and develop ourselves, our relationships, and the world. And I think that is such a wise expression of the challenges and the opportunities that we have. So the change that we're looking for has got to start within us and the way we are with each other, and have it be in the circle of the world that we seek. A couple of other things here. So we took all those words and we put this little wordle together, just to kind of after our time together. And there's some thoughts there. And all of this information you'll have access to. And I want to talk to you here. We have a map that we're building. This, you can't see it that well in the room, but for those online can see it. That kind of lays out the agenda of where we're going. And you have it in front of you. I'm not going to take the time with it now because I want to stay on track. We have an incredible array of people. This map is online. Each one of those people you click on, there's more information about them you'll be able to find and have access to learn about the remarkable things they're doing. This is kind of an overview of the topics from youth and social media and governance. And again, I'm not going to take the time to drill down on that, but this is all accessible to you. And we don't want to do this as if this isn't happening at other places. We're building on the conversation that's already going on. There was a remarkable gathering in February, which many of the organizations that represented were a part of. It's called Youth Movements. And they came up with this declaration of interdependence that I thought it would be useful to look at. It says, we are connected, we are many, we all dream of a better world. The pace of change is accelerating, and the challenges we face are more global and complex than ever before. New ways of thinking and working collaboratively are needed to address these issues. We must work inclusively across cultures, generations, organizations, and networks to champion the role of youth. We will challenge old paradigms, move beyond divisions, and hold our leaders accountable. We can harness technology to co-create a peaceful, sustainable planet for all. Together we will help to grow young people as leaders, enabling them to change the world. This is a list of the organizations associated with youth movements. A good number of them are involved with us here. Generation Waking Up is one. Don't know if your folks are familiar with them. I know you will be when we're over. They're associated with the Pachamama Alliance. Barbara Jefferson will be joining us tomorrow morning. One of the most moving things, I think, was the birth of Occupy. Coming out of the Arab Spring, the narrative of Occupy is one that really links this global uprising. And it was Ban Ki-moon's term that says, let's use this uprising of youth to lead to a global transformation. So one of the things that came out of Occupy that really I thought was so powerful was this idea of collective thinking. I want you guys to see this. Let me see how much of this. They say that it's diametrically opposed, collective thinking is, to the kind of thinking that we're used to. The aim of collective thinking is to construct. That is to say, two people with differing ideas work together to build something new. The onus, therefore, is not on my idea or yours. Rather, it's the notion that two ideas together will produce something new, something that neither of us had envisioned beforehand. So in other words, instead of us just sitting waiting to say what we already know, let's challenge ourselves to actually create something together in this next time together, something that maybe we never really imagined. In fact, if this conference turns out to be the way we hoped it would be a failure. Right? We want something unimaginable to happen. So we need something that if we don't change our direction, we're going to wind up where we're headed. So we know we're looking for something different. Right? In fact, it was Paul Hawken who made this point. He said, this work isn't a way to get rich. It's a way to be rich. And the richness that we represent and the opportunity before us is just unimaginable.